Why your relationships always fail. The hidden psychological truth. Have you ever asked yourself why every relationship you enter somehow falls apart in strange and painful ways? Why you feel like you're doing everything right yet always end up alone? You're not crazy. You're not cursed. You're simply stuck in a cycle, and you don't even realize it. The hidden pattern behind repeated failures. You think it's bad luck. You think it's because people change. But let me ask you something deeper. What if the common denominator in all your failed relationships is you? Not because you're the problem, but because you're replaying an old script written years ago, one that you didn't even choose. How childhood becomes your love. Blueprint. Our minds are like recording machines. From childhood, they capture every moment, every wound, every word spoken or not spoken. And those early recordings become the blueprint for how we give and receive love. If you were neglected emotionally, your brain may now associate love with absence. If you were constantly criticized, love might now feel like disapproval. The story of Emily. A painful loop. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone named Emily. She's 28. She's kind, intelligent, and successful. But every man she dates ends up distant, cold, or unfaithful. She starts to believe she's unlovable. But what's really happening? Emily grew up with a father who was emotionally unavailable. He was there physically, but not emotionally. Little Emily learned that love meant chasing affection that never fully arrived. So now adult Emily is drawn, almost magnetically, to men who feel just like her father. Not because she wants the pain, but because it feels familiar. We fall in love with patterns, not people. This is the first truth. We don't fall in love with people. We fall in love with patterns. We fall in love with what we know, even if it hurts. So when you say, "Why does this keep happening to me?" Maybe it's because your inner child is still picking your partners. Fear in disguise. The mistaken signs of love. What's worse is that the behaviors you think are love are actually fear in disguise. You forgive too much, not because you're compassionate, but because you're terrified of being alone. You tolerate disrespect, not because you're strong, but because you've been taught that love must be earned, not given. You attach too quickly, not because it's passion, but because you're trying to fill a deep, aching void. The void can't be filled by anyone else. That void? It's not going to be filled by anyone else. Self-worth is the real game-changer self-worth. That's the missing piece. Real, unshakable self-worth. It's not a meme. It's not a quote. It's a practice. It's a mindset. It's the armor you wear when the world tells you you're not enough, and you still stand tall. Without self-worth, every text that's ignored feels like rejection. Every boundary feels like punishment. Every fight feels like abandonment. With self-worth, you know what you deserve. You walk away when you're not valued. You don't chase love, you attract it. Self-sabotage. The unseen killer. Most people don't sabotage relationships because they're bad. They do it because they're scared. Scared of vulnerability. Scared of love that feels too safe, too quiet, too unfamiliar. We reject peace because chaos is what we've known. A simple but difficult question. Let me ask you, when was the last time you were loved in a way that didn't require you to shrink? The start of healing. Awareness. The journey to healing starts with awareness. You must know yourself, truly. You must write down your triggers. You must explore your earliest memories of rejection. You must meet your inner child, the one who first learned that love comes with pain. Daily practice, the self-discovery ritual. Start journaling. Every day. Ask yourself, what did I feel today and why? Notice patterns. Do you always fall for people who need saving? Do you always feel anxious when someone pulls away? Those are clues, not flaws, clues. Radical honesty, the pre-love checklist. And then start practicing radical honesty. Before entering your next relationship, ask, do I feel whole right now? Or am I looking for someone to fill the cracks? Practice saying no. Practice walking away. Practice choosing yourself, even when it hurts. Healing is not Instagram. Pretty. Let's talk about healing. Real healing. Not the Instagram kind. The kind that's quiet, lonely, and raw. The kind where you cry over your own growth. The kind where you sit in silence and feel the grief of every version of you that accepted less than you deserved. Back to Emily. The shift. Emily did it. After her last breakup, she didn't jump into another relationship. She stayed alone. She got therapy. She wrote letters to her younger self. She started understanding her triggers. 6 months later, she met someone. Not perfect, but healthy. Someone who saw her. Not someone she had to convince. And guess what? That relationship didn't save her. It simply reflected the healing she had already done. You can be the next Emily. You can be the next Emily. Or the next version of yourself. The one who doesn't chase, beg, or break at the thought of being alone. Your turning point. If you've watched this far, it's because something inside you is waking up. Maybe it's your self-respect. Maybe it's your future self whispering, please, don't settle again. You are not hard to love. You are not hard to love. You've just been loving from your wounds, not your worth. Let this be more than a video. And if this message hit you in your chest, if it made you cry, if it made you pause, then don't let it be just another video. Let it be your turning point. Because here, we don't just talk about healing. We do the healing. Together. Final words. You were always enough. Now breathe. You are enough. You always were. And now, you get to love from that place.